So like, I'm gonna go over like the same spiel like every time, and it's like the system itself, not the people that are stuck working in it. I'm gonna do it again and again and again, cause like I don't know, I'm an artist, and there's like an art to being overly dramatic, and there's this thing called foreshadowing. So like, I don't know what's foreshadowing. Basically, I'm just like setting the field. Foreshadowing. So when everything happens, it'll be like, oh, he is an artist. Oh my god. But you gotta have like just the right amount of mix of like, I don't know, yeah, whatever. Alright, so what's foreshadowing? Question mark. Foreshadowing. Core idea, hint now, reveal later. General story writing. Foreshadowing, early clue about future event. Well, character checks gun, that's kind of violent. That's definitely not. Purpose builds tension, make later event feel planned. Well, it is planned. If something's foreshadowed, it's because it's things happen to make it happen. What does it mean, feel planned? Oh, because the person observing it will be like, oh, well, that's the whole point. It's like, when the thing happens, it's like, oh shit, that was planned all along. Damn. Who would have known? It was right in front of us. That's an artist. I gotta pull that off. So, programming, common confusion. You probably mean shadowing, not foreshadowing. That's not what I mean. Variable shadowing. This thing's retarded. Foreshadowing. Storytelling hint. Shadowing. Scope collision. Well, there will be a shadowing in the operating system environment. And, I guess I'm done. Alright, so I gotta like add white space. I add chatbot, and chatbot's generally wrong. Generally. Which is maybe like 80% of the time. More like 70% of the time. Or 50%. It's not very right most of the time. So I forgot about white space. Alright, so in this text file, I marked some of the characters, whatever. But white space is part of it, because you gotta find the white space. The space is whatever before the text. If it's not already a encapsulating whatever jar code, or I don't know, I would assume that's how you do it. Maybe there's a better way. Oh, chat's on. If anyone has a better way, be nice to know. But I don't think there is. fast chatbot, but chatbot's retarded. No, chatbot's actually just like a database. And it's not even like correct data. Okay, so I typed a whole bunch of shit in between here. And I like commented out or something and make sure it didn't break. So chatbot listed the pair delimiters. And then has like quote, and then whatever the other one is. Parenthesis. They're all the same thing. So it's the same character. So I think I'll save like a length along with the character. Even though it's probably redundant. Or I won't. Or I will. I don't know, it doesn't matter. I want this to be data driven. But I don't want to make like a data format to convert it to and then convert back. So it's not going to be totally data driven. The operating system itself, it's not data driven. It's retard driven. I mean, how do you make an operating system for a phone, like the Windows Phone, and then go out of business? And then write it off as on taxes. Be like, hey, we lost like $4 billion making the Windows Phone because we're retarded. We don't know how to make a phone or an operating system. Can we get taxes, please, write off? And then the government pays them for the loss. Or not, I think, no, not tech, whatever. It's basically the same thing. Sweet, sweet government money. Oh, here. So, Windows Phone. So, I have the Windows Phone. I wasted time making a website on it. The Windows Phone, the touchscreen interface is completely different than all the other phones. And you waste time. Man, what a waste of time. Alright, so Windows Phone app developers began to diminish by mid-decade. Microsoft laid off Microsoft Mobile staff in 2016 after having taken a write-off of $7.6 billion on the acquisition of Nokia hardware assets, while their market share sank 1% that year. Microsoft began to prioritize software development. Really? Did they really prioritize anything? Has Windows 11 gotten better since release? No. Fucking retards. They're like really, really rich retards though. I mean, the fact that they're able to write that off in the first place, 7.6 billion, after like acquiring Nokia. Damn, those are some privileged, spoiled retards. Fucking idiots. Alright, does this still run? Dang it. wait, I'm good. Well, that's helpful. It doesn't even say what the error was. Or maybe, oh wait, 154. Nope. Add wrap safe node 1669. Is that like an internal file? I'm gonna chatbot. So compilers, they're retarded. In the most literal sense. The compiler is too retarded to say, hey, you're missing an end quote at the end of this function. The compiler is too retarded to keep track of the stack. It seems unbelievable. Alright, let's see if I'm right. Is that the actual error? Because I have no idea. This logout gives no clues. Because it's designed by retards. That was the issue. Imagine how much fun someone new to programming would have. Anyone new to programming, anyone like learning to program, they'd be like, oh, something's wrong. Programming is so difficult. And then they'd waste their time trying to figure it out. That's not fair. That's not like entry level friendly. That's like, this compiler's retarded. How are people supposed to learn and use these tools when they're developed by retards? Seriously, like, what the fuck? That's probably my spiel. I had to get my operating system done. Alright, so like, what's the error determined from this logout? Error. Syntax error. Unexpected end of input. Core meaning. Parser hit end of file. No, it didn't. Expected more tokens. Clearly. Something not closed. Likely cause 99%. Missing closing. So like, at a fundamental level, even Node.js is just as retarded as GCC and Visual Studio. Retarded. Not cool. Wasting people's fucking time. So that's it, 99% time. We'll check what it says. Or incomplete expression, cut off file generation. Your case important, a file name, generated file, high probability, generator truncated output, string not closed, block not closed. It didn't even have string in here. Oh, it did. It had both. Oh, wait, is this actually useful? 3869. Okay, maybe I'm wrong. So this is current. Alright, where was 3869? It wasn't 3869. It was like 3669. Oh no, there is one. Very last line. Oh no, it's 1669. Alright, where's this at? So this file. Yeah, that is definitely the error right there. That is most likely where the error is. Yes, totally. Alright, so as a beginner, if someone was a beginner, and they get this error, because it's missing a closing brace, or bracket, whatever it's called, they'd be like, huh, well I guess I don't know how to program, this is too complicated. Because it is. How is anybody supposed to learn how to program when the compiler is designed by fucking moronic retards who can't even make a fucking parser? Like, seriously, the fuck is wrong with you idiots? I'm just foreshadowing for when I release my shit. Because right now, clearly my stuff has bugs, but it's not released. I'm just trying to get it running. I'm trying to get stuff running in fucking hell. Literally. Alright, anyways. Everything is fucking stupid. Yeah. Where to look? Line 3869. Yeah. Good job. Of course, it's missing at the end of the file. Alright, let's see if, like, that would even fix it. It wouldn't. But let's see. So save. Oh, okay, so using chatbot's advice, since that's most likely there, let's go down here and just put a little here. Close this thing. There we go. Ta-da! Nope. It didn't even finish to parse it. It's the same error. So it gave up way before reaching the end of the file. That's retarded. Alright, so I'm splitting this part up into like white space characters and then open and closing for simple pairs. White space is white space. Would there be a need to differentiate between the opening and the closing? even though it's the same. That might be useful. It would be useful. Because in C language, since it's designed by retards in C language, not the people using it, the people designing and maintaining it, since those people, the maintainers and designers, since they're retarded, because their compiler is shit, and we all gotta use it, unless you make your own system, which is gonna end up happening eventually. If you end something with a slash like this, like a macro, you can't have, there's no white space. If there is white space after it, it's an error. So, being able to test for white space before and after the symbol pair, but that's not a symbol pair. If it ends in a slash, that's like, it is an ending. Alright, so I'm gonna split this up into like, I'm gonna name it as like, I guess opening, closing, pre and post maybe, to the opening, closing. Or actually, start, and then start will sometimes become opening. Cause like, if it's like, if it's like a variable, like int foobar or foo equals 3. Or if it's like, how did I forget the preprocessor command? If it's like if1 or end if, this is technically an opening. Well, the preprocessor is separate from C compiler. Okay, maybe, alright, the C compiler never actually sees the preprocessor. Alright, anyways. This is gonna end up being like the start, I guess. If it's like int, this is like the first character. And it's not like opening or closing. It's like a thing that's declared. And then this is gonna be both the start and the open. Because it's like, it's a physical symbol. It like physically represents something. But it's not a name. It's not a label. But it is a label. So it's a label, but it's like not, yeah. So it's gonna like collapsing here, whatever. Is one token. I'll do like open and then like header or something, or it's confusing. Like prep is preparing to run the body code or what's in between it. And then foot, for like the foot of it. I don't even know, I don't care. a whole bunch of other shit too. Alright, so I'm gonna deal with like parsing just the big chunks. And then I'll break it down to like the types, which are basically labels. Or like union. Well, I don't need all that actually right now. I'm gonna get this first. What is this file? Alright, so I'm gonna like name these, I guess, like level 1, and then symbol, and put start for the white space, and open for there's overlap. I could put them in the same object or whatever. And then test. And it's like it's either start or open. Like whatever's in there. I'm gonna do something. I don't know, yeah. I gotta think. I wanna like set this up once. In a way that I can like modify later. So I'm gonna like overthink and plan and I don't know. I think that's part of the process. It's all about the process. Man, I need some music. So like, when parsing, I want like regions, whatever groups. I don't want them to like collapse into like another group. So maybe boundary means anything that's not like reserved or internal. So boundary is like anything that's not reserved or internal. Or I don't know, whatever, doesn't matter. And then begin is when it is reserved or internal. Because this has extra figuring out. But this is like, it's known. Or the other way. I gotta burp. So here I have one clearly symbol that's reserved by the syntax. Clear defined usage. So extract union, a number, pound symbol. And like ABC. Or floor. Or whatever. That's not one of the defined keywords, whatever. Or reserved or whatever. So if I keep that as a boundary, it doesn't end up in the begin grouping. And then I can have different levels. So if it's a boundary thing, then I gotta do an extra check to, I guess, make a begin thing. Figure out what kind of like beginning thing it is. If that makes sense. And anything that was not a boundary or a begin thing, I should have 4 layers. I think 3 would work. I'm trying to like simplify this. So like begin token characters or whatever, BTC, it doesn't matter. So anything that's a not, I guess a label. So I guess labels, they're not reserved, are basically B2. Alright, that kind of makes more sense. Except a number isn't a label. So reserved labels int. Literal, I guess, I don't know. So boundary is a non-reserved labels, meaning who knows what it is. So to like begin like whatever, parsing it, or like evaluating, it needs to like begin or whatever. And then reserved labels, those are already defined how their usage. Like bound symbol, struct, union, 1, 2, 3, like a number. So it's either this or this one. But if it's neither of these, meaning it's not a label, because a label is just text that doesn't start with a number. If it's not that, then it is one of these, which means it's like something was written above, before it, like into or something, and then it's put in this line instead of like after on the same line. And this is still valid one or whatever in some cases. So now we go in to begin token characters. Because it's like evaluating an exception or whatever. So maybe do begin token BTE for like begin token exception. Since a label, that's like non-reserved or it's reserved. And then non-reserved labels have extra step to make them act like reserved because they gotta be figured out. And then begin token exceptions. Anything that's not a reserved label or anything that was a reserved label is caught. So it's like a true false and then fall through. Because it's not always true, it's not always false. I need a fourth layer. I don't want to actually program and give away techniques. I want to be like just specific enough, but not too much. So I'm gonna make it work with 3. And then, if I set it up right, when I click run, and I like parse stuff, what will happen is like, not this. In Node.js, this is what happens. If you like forget a character. This is build. Already built. Alright, so Node.js. Since the people that made Node.js, since they're retarded, which that must be what the case, whatever, because not being able to like identify where the error's at when it's really obvious, if you're actually keeping track of what you're compiling and you're not retarded, then something like this, it wouldn't say, oh, end of termination or whatever, or end terminator. Because if someone knew what they're doing and they made a compiler, you could easily tell that something was missing here based on the rules of the syntax and how the code's formatted. Unless, of course, you're an absolute fucking retard and you're making a compiler and you don't know what you're doing and you're making something for the masses, for everybody, and everybody's gonna use this. New people too, So like when new people want to learn something, makes it like a billion times more difficult. When you don't know, you gotta figure out. And then when you do know, you're like, you know what? I understand now. The reason it's hard to debug is because the people that made the program, they don't know what they're doing. And it's shit. And you get used to like fighting with the debugger because it's garbage. Because if it wasn't garbage, then it'd be able to notice and find and point out the line that the character is missing on. Because like JavaScript, it is dynamic. But in this case, it's very obvious. Based on a stack. This is even a global. It's a fucking global. It is impossible to not detect this. I'm gonna ask Chatbot, because Chatbot's apparently like the smartest thing since like retards. Because it's not smart. Fucking Chatbot doesn't work. Alright, so that's Chatbot. Well, first I'm gonna put this at the top of the file. Will it catch it if there's less code in the file? Or is it like so inept that it's not gonna catch it at all? Another function. Wow. That's retarded. Same error message. Same exact complexity. At the outer scope, where it's really obvious internally if they're keeping track of the tokens, it's fucking opening parenthesis or whatever, fuck, curly brace. And then the scope goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down, up, down, up, down. And there's a loop here, and then it goes up here, there's another brace, so the stack goes up, or it stacks it, and then it stays up, and then this is the stack inside of this. It's encapsulated. That's the whole point of encapsulating it, is to have the text between. So it goes up, down, and then here it goes back up, and then down, and then it goes up, and then down, and then here's the last one, and the stack is like, oh no, this is still for the for loop. Alright, so the stack drops. So this for loop's done, and then the program continues to compile. And it goes da 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 da. Oh, what's this? Oh no, there's another opening curly brace. So if this program, this Node.js, wasn't designed by fucking retards, it'd be like, wait a second, there's something already on the stack. There is already one of these on the stack. It means there must be a second one. There must be someone didn't put a closing curly brace. But that's not what's happening. No. Because Node.js was designed by like fucking retards. If they're not retarded, which they're not, they're probably just idiots. Because I think you have to be like medically diagnosed to be retarded. So no, they're just fucking idiots. And Node.js is free. So what do you expect? I mean, seriously. Everything's so fucked and run by the dumbest people. Alright, so I'm gonna ask Chatbot, why does Node.js, why does it catch this error? Or first I'm ask it, what's the error with this? And why does Node.js? Why is it capable of catching it? Because it's not. It's not capable. It's it's impotent. It can't do it. I'm gonna ask chatbot the opposite to see what chatbot says. Because, like, development now, that's the thing. Making everybody else's life fucking hell. Brace and balance. Alright, it actually found it. That is so impressive. But chatbot's too dumb. It thinks this is defined inside of it. It doesn't realize that, like, it's not nested. It's separate. It's after it. And it knows what it's gonna throw now. Because I already asked earlier. So it's already been primed with, like, the info, so it's gonna know what to output. So I can't really trick it now. Alright, so, like, it says JavaScript error, not a logic failure. There's no point in asking chatbot if the people who made Node.js and are keeping track of the stack or stacking or whatever they're doing, it's shit. There's no point in asking chatbot. It's gonna say, well, it is what it is. And that's what it is. So I guess it is what it is. And that is what it is. The most I can do is, like, get my JavaScript engine done and then release it. And if people like it better, well, then I guess this shit can, like, go down the drain or just become obsolete. Because it's probably a pain in the ass to manage anyways. And then why manage and update it if someone makes something that's freaking way faster and doesn't do, like, fucktarded shit, like not being able to, like, make a fucking parser that works. The error must be on line 99. Unless it says clearly, it might even say here, somewhere in here, where there is. But chatbot couldn't even find it, and I'm not going to waste my time looking. This must be the error, line 99. That has to be it. Alright, I'm gonna look real quick. It says enter point at main 154.5. That's not this file. I don't care. Well, at least it's still better than the Windows updates. Node.js. I mean, at least it kind of runs. Windows, though. Yeah, I don't know. It's better than Windows. Windows is so bad. And Linux isn't very much better. I kind of thought it would be. Just same poop, different butthole. Just being pushed out by different people. Except you pay for Windows, so you'd expect it to be like premium poop. Okay, it works. There's no errors. I don't want to get started and then like be in the middle of it. So I'll pick up on this tomorrow or today, whatever. So I'm gonna like try to keep it generic, but like keep track of the start and end and the areas or spans and evaluate them and then convert them. Like this is like made up syntax. I'm gonna change it, whatever, for stupid node stuff and convert this over to like C language. And Chapa output this. This is not what it would look like. It looks something like this, just not this. But I'll output it. Where'd it go? Oh, here. Something like this. So I'll grab all the fields. So it's like name, sample rate, start time. So those are going to exist somewhere in C program, but behind the scenes. So I'll grab the name in the parse or whatever, and then the sample rate, and then start time. I should also have a retry time. And then the retry time, I can attach it to the time scheduler to like whatever samples per second. So if it like makes a node and it misses a time, or not miss, if it has some condition to start running it and it's not met, I guess the sample rate would be outside. So this would be like the default sample rate. So if I want to like try 3 times or 3 times a second out of the sample rate, or 3 samples per second, if it misses or it can't enter and run it, then it'll be like, alright, so start time and retry time. Alright, I got whatever. There's overlap. Except I should have it set up to like trip it to retry again. And then when it runs a node, I guess inside the node, put like the sample rate to run it at when it enters. So then like if it's at 3 samples a second. And it's like checking some like environmental variable and it can't enter yet. Then it would like only go like 3 times a second or whatever, and wherever that is on the scheduler. And then it's like tied in with it, and it's not like a separate process that's waiting. And then once it like the node like successfully whatever initializes or whatever, for whatever reason it couldn't and had to retry, then I'll enter the node and then changes to like the like 30 refresh rate, whatever refresh rate that it needs. So the parse will like grab this stuff, grab the name, refresh rate, and then end time, and then like if I set it up to where maybe before, if I place the at for the refresh rate before the time instead of after, maybe that can mean do retry time instead of when to start. And it's also like delay time. So I don't know. I can use the position that it's at to indicate different things when I'm parsing it. And it saves on time and setting it up. So I still gotta like finalize this whole thing. And I gotta get the parser set up. Like duration. So I gotta figure out this later. I gotta get the parser done first, because there's lots of overlap with these. And once I get the time scheduler like fully running, I'll pick whatever's easiest and only what I need right now, and then add other stuff later, I guess. So I'm like, parse this, extract parts from it. and then make a stupid parser or whatever. And I can like stress test the parser or like test conditions that you would think are basically covered, but pretty much aren't in the real world. Because in the real world, everyone's an idiot. Well, not really, not everyone. I'm just being sarcastic. Obviously. So parse it and then grab shit and then put in here. And output this separate file. And then some people, they may think it's totally acceptable. And that's fine, I don't give a fuck. And I don't care. Because I'm making my own shit. And then I'll get off the system and have my own shit. And then there, I can have like, I don't know. I just get off this shit onto my own shit. And then it's like, I don't gotta complain about it anymore. So I don't know. I'm gonna like think about this tomorrow. Peace. Unless you're Microsoft, no peace. I'm gonna put you fuckers out of business with competition. Microsoft blows cock. And balls. Lady dick.